Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Tirado. I am currently enrolled in a master's degree program for Grand Canyon University, and today I will be talking about culturally responsive teaching and supporting English learners. Today we're going to be looking at how culture influences learning, how teachers can create inclusive environments, and how building strong family and community partnerships help students thrive. So we're going to start with the first section, which is culturally responsive teaching. And for this part one, we are going to be talking about cultural influences on teaching and learning. Cultural influences every part of how students think, communicate, and learn. It shapes their values, beliefs, and interaction styles, and even how they respond to feedback or authority. According to Geneva Gay, culturally responsive teaching means using students' cultural experiences as a foundation for effective instruction. A cultural competence is the teacher's ability to understand, respect, and adapt to cultural differences. For English learners, cultural competence helps educators design lessons that connect academic content to students' real-world experiences. For example, teachers can incorporate stories, tradition, or examples from students' home cultures to make lessons more meaningful and attract their attention. To integrate students' cultural values appropriately, we can invite them to share their perspectives through writing, storytelling, or projects that reflect their backgrounds. This helps students see their culture as a valuable resource rather than something that separates them from the rest of the school learning. What is the role of culture in learning and inclusive environments? Culture plays a major role in student motivation, participation, and language acquisition. When students feel their culture is recognized and respected, they are more engaged and confident learners. Classroom and school environments can either support or hinder language development environments that encourage risk taking, provide visual support, and honor all languages, promote stronger language growth. To create an inclusive environment, teachers can display multicultural visuals and bilingual labels in the classroom, group students strategically for peer language and modeling, establish norms that celebrate all voices and backgrounds. These steps make students feel safe to use their emerging English and proud of their heritage language. What are some strategies for celebrating diversity and leveraging home language? To celebrate diversity, teachers can use literature from around the world, highlight multicultural holidays, and include diverse role models in lessons. Collaborative projects where students teach classmates about their culture help build empathy and inclusion. To leverage home language assets, allow students to use their first language for brainstorming, note-taking, or peer discussions before switching to English. Process known as translanguaging helps students make deeper connections to new vocabulary and concepts while maintaining pride in their linguistic identity. So next we're going to move on to part two. In this section, we are going to talk about supporting the needs of ELs in the classroom, English learners. How are teachers supposed to respond to strengths and needs from our ELs? Every English learner is unique. Some may have strong academic skills in their first language, while others are just beginning to read or write. A responsive teacher differentiates instruction based on these strengths and needs. Strategies include providing visual supports, sentence frames, and graphic organizers. For ELs with special needs, collaboration with specialists ensures accommodations are linguistically and cognitively appropriate. Social and emotional needs are just as important. Teachers can create morning meetings, buddy systems, or cultural sharing circles that help students build community and confidence. When students feel emotionally supported, they are most likely to take academic risks and practice English without fear in the classroom. Understanding social, emotional, and cultural needs. Understanding students' social and cultural needs is vital when setting classroom routines. Clear expectations, visual cues, and predictable schedules reduce anxiety, especially for newcomers. When routines are culturally sensitive, for example, allowing time for reflection or flexible eye contact norms, students feel safe and respected. As Gay 2018 explains, culturally responsive teachers are not only teaching content but also nurture relationships that affirm students' identity and self-worth. Now for part three, we're going to talk about home and school connections. In the first section of this part, we're going to talk about family and community practices, funds of knowledge. Family and community practices deeply influence how students learn languages. Moll describes this as funds of knowledge, the cultural and intellectual resources students bring from home. Teachers who learn about families, professions, traditions, and communication styles can connect classroom learning to students' lived experiences. For instance, if a student's family runs a small business, lessons on math or marketing can incorporate the background. How can we build a family and community partnership within our school? Building strong family school partnerships is essential. Teachers can host multilingual family nights, provide translated newsletters, and use apps like Talking Points to communicate in families' home languages. These are some cues that we can identify for effective family engagement practices. Inviting parents to share stories, crafts, or songs from their cultures, providing workshops on how families can support literacy in any language, creating community events that celebrate linguistic and cultural diversity. When families feel valued, they become active partners in their child's education, reinforcing language learning both at home and at school. Inclusive community practices like inviting cultural organizations or local leaders to school events also strengthen the bridge between community and classroom. To sum it up, culturally responsive teaching is not a single strategy, it's a mindset. It's about recognizing the richness that each student brings and designing instruction that honors their language, identity, and story. When we build cultural competence, respond to each learner's unique needs, and partner with families, we create classrooms that are inclusive, equitable, and deeply humane. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope that this inspires you to reflect on your own teaching and continue celebrating the cultural and languages that make our classrooms so vibrant and great.